Kenseth-Keselowski, but I have a feeling I know what you're thinking about. I want to walk through the contact with Chase Elliott and get your opinion on that restart.
Well, I haven't seen, the video or anything. I just knew I got in the corner and he was inside of me and we made contact. So I ain't seen any more than that to really, have any clarity to it. But track's just real slick on the restarts for everybody, and I think you saw that. It takes about 5 laps for anyone to get going or more, especially a leader. But there's a lot of hard fighting here. It's a short track, and that's what short tracks are kind of about, is hard fighting, a little bit of gouging. You try not to take anybody out, but you gotta sometimes rub a little bit, and who's to say one's too far and who's not, I don't know. But we had a really great Lions Truck Parts score. We were able to lead laps, win the 2 stages and bring home a solid finish, and that's something to be proud of.
During the 2017 Martinsville race, everybody remembers when Chase Elliott got wrecked by Denny Hamlin. But just a lap prior to that, Chase Elliott actually moved Keselowski up and out of the groove intentionally. This was a pretty dirty move on Chase Elliott's part, in my opinion, but everybody forgets that because they only want to remember what happened to him. This is by far one of the most controversial moments in NASCAR that nobody really remembers. A popular driver moving Brad Keselowski, who did nothing wrong, out of the way. Keselowski was also racing for a championship 4 spot, and he could have benefited from winning the race.
Yeah, you see him come up at turn 2 right here, and I think that they make a little bit of contact right there. Kyle Larson trying to side draft, and then I think Busch is frustrated with that. Squeezes him down the racetrack, and then Larson spins out into the 8, and they both hit the fence. So I think Kyle Busch was frustrated with Larson. You see him way down the racetrack. Let's hear what he said.
I mean, he turned into me.
Yeah, he routed you down. Total idiots.
Well, there's 2 sides to every story, but that's certainly the one side that we saw.
Yeah, you see that little contact. I think that ticked Kyle off right there, and then right there. Yeah, I think he just got frustrated and got them both wrecked.
In Gateway in 2024, Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch were battling down the front straightaway. Larson would get into Busch, and Busch didn't like it. He would cut back down across the racetrack as they would make contact. Both of them would let their aggression get the best of them. Larson would send it in on Busch entering turn 1, spinning himself out and wrecking Kyle Busch in the process. These 2 drivers are definitely not shy away from racing hard and aggressive. Kyle Busch has definitely mellowed out in his older years, but Kyle Larson is a driver who will put you in a position to wreck or lift out of the gas to give up your position. And this proves just why he does it so often. Most of the time it works, but unfortunately for Larson this time, it didn't work as he lost control of his race car and spun out into Busch, entering turn number 1.
In the garage, everyone's known it for months. It's not 2 weeks old. This is something that's been going on for months. They've been warned for a long time, way before Richmond. So this is not something that, oh man, we got, they just told us halfway after Richmond and going in the Loudon that our car's wrong. They knew it was wrong way before that, and I felt like they wanted to get everything they could. What did they have to lose, really? So, you almost can't fault them for that.
Flash forward to Saturday morning's practice. Kevin Harvick, one of the Childress drivers, follows Denny Hamlin out onto the racetrack and basically appears to be trying to send a message.
He is upset.
I don't like what you said, I think was the message. Little contact, a little more contact, a little more contact out on the racetrack. Both drivers called off the track by NASCAR into the garage where discussion ensued.
Boys having a little bit of a heated debate on territory there, and it's very difficult when you're making the implication that someone else is cheating. It goes to the core, and what happened in this instance, as we saw with the fines and penalties, NASCAR
won at Atlanta. It was Charlotte that he won at the 600. What a job, Kurt Busch, and Kurt and Jeff going to talk it over.
Yeah, their little issue there earlier in the race, I'm sure they're talking about how the car got tight and they just kind of sent them both out. Things get a lot better when you end up finishing second and third. You can talk these things out.
Yeah, and I think they have a lot of respect for each other.
Yeah, no doubt.
Everybody's got to be in single file.
It was good enough reason to run into him. Because we encouraged ourselves to get to the is what happened. No,
restarts were treacherous today, and that's where the 24 and I raced really hard today. He was on the outside, hooked his nose right on our rear spoiler, and I was just sliding, and he thought I was pinching a bump into the wall. And I'm like, no, you got to give an inch to get an inch. And then it just turned into a bit rough play, but, with the important thing about us finishing second and third, that's when it's good racing, and there doesn't need to be the media to blow it out of proportion and to say two guys are fighting. We need to put on a better show. We need to have better tickets for our fans to buy, and I hope we put that on back there.
This clip's going to be a little different because I could not find for the life of me what these two drivers were arguing about. But at the completion of the 2013 Kansas Chase race, Jeff Gordon and Kurt Busch would get into a little argument and confrontation after the race. For the life of me, I don't know why I cannot find this footage. I have skimmed through the race, I've skimmed through highlights, was never able to find what these two drivers were actually upset about. But they were upset about something because this happened right after the race when Kevin Harvick was doing a burnout, and they didn't even get to do interviews before they got into a confrontation.
Drivers. Tony Stewart and David Rudiman were having a kind of reasonable conversation, and then one of David's crew chimed in, and then things got a little bit heated.
Not sure what's going on there. There's certainly a crew member is not happy with smoke. David's trying to get in the middle. Oh, the crew member kissed the ground.
Let's find out a little more on this story, Matt.
And we talked about a lot of different updates that take place during the break. And for Tony Stewart, you had a conversation with David Rudiman. What did it concern?
Just being smart out there. I mean, we caught him and he raced us real hard, and we got 425. We had 425 miles left in the race at that point, and it's just kind of questioning why he's racing us that hard. I mean, you it's a long day, and when guys are in front of you are running him down, and he's racing everybody like it's a nationwide race, and this isn't a nationwide race. This isn't a nationwide series, and when it comes down to the end and it's time to go race, you race hard, but there's 43 of us out here and we all have to work together, and he's having a hard time understanding that, I think. I mean, he says he gets it, but if he gets it, he's holding up a whole line of cars every time they get to him. It just gets frustrating. Then he's got a bald crew guy down there that wants to jump up there and be Billy Bad Butt. Maybe he needs to ride in there with him since they both seem to have it all figured out together.
Tony Stewart was upset at young David Rudiman during the 2009 Coca-Cola 600. Stewart said David Rudiman was not racing properly in the way he would have been liked to be raced. He said Rudiman was cutting everybody off and racing extremely aggressive. But what was funny is as this red flag was out, it was because of rain. Rain would continue to fall throughout the day, and it would end under rain. NASCAR was unable to complete this finish, and you know who won this race? David Rudiman. He was leading at the time the rain began to fall, and he picked up the checkered flag. Even after all that smack talk that Tony Stewart did, it never really worked out for Smoke because David Rudiman was the winner.
Demolition Derby, baby.
Somebody stay with him, calm his ass down.
As pissed off as I was 20 seconds ago, this is pretty entertaining back here.
Kenseth is ready to fight. Here we go.
Man, when you get back Kenseth that hot, you've really done something. The pit crews are in there scrambling. It's like a rugby scrum down there. The pressure of the chase. We saw it right there.
A lot of anger vented towards you at the end of this race. Take us to, first of all, what happened with Denny Hamlin?
Well, I think first off, the Detroit Gentleman Parts Ford was good today. We're probably going to have a 4th or 5th place run and just didn't catch a break in so many different ways, but I'm really proud of running Team Penske. And then, through just this whole sequence of events, I think the 20 car gotten back at me on one of the restarts, just a racing deal. I wasn't mad at him, but when the last yell came out, he got the waiver on when he came by and swung at my car and tore the whole right front off of it. And when we were restarting 5th with no right front on it, we fell all the way back to 16th and ruined our day and gave us a big chase hurt, which is unfortunate. And then for some reason after the race, the 11 stopped in front of me and tried to pick a fight, and I don't know what that was all about. And he swung and hit at my car, so I figured if we're going to play car wars under yelling after the race, I'll join too. So, those guys can dish it out, but they can't take it, and I gave it back to them, and now they want to fight. So.
One of the most intense nights in NASCAR, in my opinion, was the 2014 Chase race at Charlotte. It was the inaugural NASCAR elimination playoff system they introduced in 2014, and man, tempers were boiling over. Early on in the race on a restart, Keselowski would wall Matt Kenseth, basically cutting Kenseth's tire down and damaging his race car. On the final restart of the race with 2 laps to go, Denny Hamlin held at Brad Keselowski on the restart, and Keselowski dropped and fell back a ton of positions. Hamlin threw some bad blocks, Keselowski said, and he was unappreciative of it. He would then go try to wreck Denny Hamlin on the cooldown lap, miss. Then for some reason he wanted to go wreck Matt Kenseth after he was the one who wrecked Matt Kenseth in the first place. Tony Stewart got upset, backed it into Keselowski as Keselowski was backing up and damaged his race car. Then, after all of this, when we all thought it was settled and done, Keselowski was going in between his hauler to go back and change clothes, I would assume. Kenseth, out of nowhere, comes in like a flying bullet and grabs Brad Keselowski and holds him to express his displeasure. This is when the altercation broke out between Matt Kenseth and Brad Keselowski's pit crew. Then Matt Kenseth's pit crew got involved, and it was a huge mess.
The 20 of Matt Kenseth gets into the wall.
Hold on, coming inside, whole field coming inside.
Steve, I've got to ask, is this
hard, you okay?
because of using scuffed tires or older tires?
No, this is a 3 or 4 groove racetrack and 3 and 4 wide racing where cars are running into each other. Look at both sides of this 20. There's dents and damage everywhere.
See Matt Kenseth on the outside. Look at Brad. He misses shift right there. The 18 car gets in the back of him. That bunched them all up. Now, as they go in the corner, boom, right there. But it all started on the front straightaway. That damage on the left front fender probably cut that left front tire. That's what caused Kenseth's wreck.
It's chaotic, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the wreck. I mean, that's all on Brad, and I'm sure he'll send a tweet out or go on a TV show and explain how it wasn't his fault, but he just, he knows better than that. He knows his angle was bad, and he just drove way off in the corner because he made a mistake, and he was trying to make up for it and had no respect for anybody on the outside lane. So, unfortunately, we got a wrecked car because of it, but we were starting to make our way back toward the front. It's tough not having enough tires, but I thought Jason was doing a decent job managing. We had a good car all night. We just got behind in that pit road penalty and, thought we were in for a top 3 or 4.
Matt Kenseth and Brad Keselowski have definitely had interesting careers that overlapped at a certain time. Keselowski and Kenseth were at the top of their game in 2014 to 2016, and they got into each other a lot. And at Richmond, Brad Keselowski would run into Matt Kenseth, cutting down his tire and ultimately ending Kenseth's night. And it was frustrating because Matt Kenseth had one of the fastest cars at Richmond that year. Kenseth's day would end as he would cut a tire to turn number 3 and end his night completely, and end his shot at winning the race.
Joey Logano through 3 and 4 for the final time. There's the contact. He does get to him. The 11 on the inside. He gets into the wall. Dylan's going to win it at the line.
What are your thoughts on what happened down there?
It's chicken. There's no doubt about it. He's 4 car lengths back. Not even close. Then he wrecks the 11 to go along with it. And then he's going to go up there and thank God and praise everything with his baby. It's a bunch of BS. It's not even freaking close. I mean, dude, I get it, bump and run. I get it. I didn't back up the corner at all. He came in there and just drove through me. It's ridiculous that's the way we race. Unbelievable. I get bump and runs. I do that. I would expect it. But from 4 car lengths back, he was never going to make the corner. And then he wrecks the other car. He wrecks the 11 to go with it. So what a piece of crap.
Looking to make a spot in the 2024 playoffs was Austin Dillon. Win and you're in. And he knew this was his last shot, most likely, to make it in the playoffs. He did what he had to do, in his own words. He drove it in there from about 3 car lengths back, hit the 22 car, realized he messed up because Denny Hamlin was going to pass him, and then he proceeds to right hook Denny Hamlin into the wall and make a violent crash with the 11 car. Denny Hamlin was able to finish second out of this, and Austin Dillon was able to pick up the win. This was just a joke of a finish.